Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Berto Will is your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. I have a slim pickings right now, but we have wonderful ladies in the house. Bridge MCP is asserting herself, as well as Melanie Keelan, way out there in El País de España, Spain. Anyhow, welcome aboard, my peeps. Welcome aboard. Come on, folks. Make yourself aware so I can salute you. Make yourself aware so I can salute you. We are going to have a great program today. Where did everyone go? Rudnan is sick, I think. I hope he gets better. It seemed like he was getting the flu. We're going to have to send Rudnan some love. We need to send Rudnan some love. In fact, as we speak here, given that I'm not seeing him, and we know he's our regular, maybe I should drop him a line because, Rudnan, where are you? But anyhow, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. Let's all wish Rudnan a good recovery if right now he's sort of under the weather. You know that happens every so often. So, Rudnan, get better. Rudnan, get better. Alistair Waters is in the house. Alistair, welcome to Politics Done Right as usual. Glad to see you here. Let's see. Bridge MCP says, got my booster and flu today. Michael said yesterday, see ya in a few days. Oh, I didn't know he said that. I didn't see the part that he said, see ya in a few days. So I guess we got to wait a few days to see Michael Rudnan. So let me drop in a line. I'm going to just drop him a teaser. Hey, where are you? I like to do that. I like all of you guys know we were always thinking of you. In the house, Yvette Avery Herod. How you doing, Yvette? Love to have you here. We also have para ver Linda Jo Kinsinger. Hey guys, she says. And we have as well everybody saluting itself. We are overpowered with women today. Women rule, women rule, women rule. I got my oh, he's having a colonoscopy. Yikes. I should have one, but I haven't in a while. But, yikes. I feel for you. Anyhow, let's see who else is here. Linda Jo Kinsinger says, hey, Bridge, good to be back. You know, we love having you back, Linda Jo. I trust everything is okay with you. I hope you weren't too much battered by weather or heat or whatever comes about. We're going to have a great show. We had a great show at KPFT. I raised a few bucks for KPFT earlier today. We even had Eric, I think it was Eric Hayes that called in because I know his voice and it had his tonality. They just put Eric there, but it was great having him. Egberto Willis, Paul is having a colonoscopy. Okay, got you. Not our other guy. Eric Hayes says, pay attention, Fareed says, incoherent energy strategy and unrealistic policy of having future energy capabilities now. This is the administration and West as a whole. The lack of investment in fossil now and forcing everyone on this current policy is making things worse. Take some advice from one of your own. Fareed Zakaria is right down the middle, and let me tell you, Fareed in this case was wrong. Just like the guy that I played that yesterday, just like Tom Friedman was wrong. I gave the explanation in the video that I did. We had over 40 years to start doing this stuff. What do we wait for the place to cook? I am sorry. We're going to have to feel some temporary pain to make the necessary transition. And also what I really think we should do. Here's a problem that they had with Tom Friedman, Eric. Tom Friedman said, what do you expect the investors to do? If you don't treat the investors like you care about them, what are they to do? Just try to take their profits and run. And he's right. And then he says, you call it the oil companies dinosaurs. Yes, he's right. The oil companies are purposeful dinosaurs. They are intentional dinosaurs that decided they could make more money on fossil fuels because it exists already than to develop something new. And if you look at what capitalism says, if you look at pure capitalism, what should really be happening is oil companies, because of the destruction they're causing with not only with the the fuel that they produce, but with the lies and by them not making other energy sources come to fruition in a timely manner, they should be disbanded. What does disbandment means? It means they should be nationalized because they are the ones responsible for us continue to throw all this stuff up in the air. They are responsible for the collusion. They are responsible for the climate change. They solely are responsible for paying people off to do what needs to be done. I think Fareed knows his crap. Fareed is a very smart person, but not because you're a very smart person doesn't mean you don't fall under the spell of a failed economic system, which they all do. Maywood, welcome aboard. Eric Hayes, I think I welcomed you by taking your message as well. Eric Hayes says, if I invest, I want a return and you won't be working past 70 years. Also, don't you want your money working for you? Your money cannot, again, you see what I tell you about indoctrination into an economic system, right? Here is what Eric Hayes says. He wants his money to work for him. I used to speak like that. A long time ago, I used to speak like that. And yes, did I have some investments a while back? Yes. Did I make money on my investments? Yes. I've used it all up because for 12 years, I've been doing this, not breaking even. So everything has pretty much gone. But here's what I'm trying to say. Your money does not work for you. Okay? Capitalism is an abstraction of parasitic behavior. I mean, I am not blaming anybody for anything. I'm just saying the way the system was created was for us to, as much as possible, have other people work for us. When you say you make your money work for you, at the end of that chain where your money is working for you is somebody working for less so that you get a piece of what they are working for. I mean, it's how our economy works. So nobody needs to feel a guilt or anything because that is the economy we've been used to. But understand that nobody's money works for them. Money can't do any work. It's the work by others that generate monies that you skim a piece of it. That is what you're looking at. Okay. You own rent houses, your money works for you. I own a house. My money is not working for me. I own a house. If I sell this house at an appreciation, if you go through the chain of what comes with that appreciation, you will understand. Now, again, I got to live in this economy. So yes, I want my home to appreciate. I am not trying to be a goody two-shoe. I am just trying to tell you your money cannot work for you. And that paradigm that we have in our economic system is what means you have you have those who have and those who don't, or those who forever will be indentured servants. It's that simple. Tom C says money doesn't work. People do. The stock market at best is a gambling casino, at worst a Ponzi scheme. Tom C is 100% correct. So, I mean, and again, folks, if you're earning interest and all of that, I'm not dissuading that at all. All right. I mean, I want folks to earn your interest. And if you look at what I say in my book, How to Make America Utopia, I said, we want the bankers, right? The bankers used to loan money so that you could develop something at a reasonable interest rate so that he can get paid for dispersing the money and managing things, right? And you pay it back with some interest. What you're doing is the interest you pay is paying the banker for his work, paying the banker and all of that. That is how things are supposed to work. But when we get investment bankers that turn these things into collars and fake derivatives and all of that, that's trickery to make money not by doing any work, but to make money off of money doing nothing. That is a fraudulent economy, and that is what we have. I mean, it's hard for people to accept that because that's not how we've been reared. That's not how we've been taught, but that's what it is. If you're a stockbroker making money off of money, in other words, just moving money around, you're not doing anything for society. A real banker is doing a service. A real banker says, I am going to get a lot of people to deposit the excess money they don't want to spend into a bank. I will monitor and watch that money for them. I will loan that money to other people who are not liquid at the time. Those people will pay a little bit of interest, so that takes care of me managing the money. And a little bit of that money goes back to the people who loaned the money out to make something accessible to me. I'm paying for that particular service at a reasonable cost. But when you look at what these investment bankers do, my God. Yes, folks, give us those thumbs up on YouTube. So it is important for us to understand this is not a socialist capital. It is a capitalist thing that's saying capitalism is an abstraction of, I call it an abstraction of harming others, right? Because the capitalist sees just what's in front of them. They don't see what goes behind to really cause pain. And those are the things that I work on. And I explain some of that in my book, How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. And I left all my books, it seems like, in the car. Because at KPFT, I'm trying to get some of those books sold to help defray the costs of our $150,000 rake that we have to have for the next 3 months. All right. Carl Cox's investment bankers work for the mega corporations. Great Depression is proof of this. That's what they actually cause. Again, because they got into, in software programming, we call it the deadly embrace. The deadly embrace is when something is dependent on something that depends on the same thing. You get a deadly embrace. There's nowhere to go. The duck that quacks says, no, you see it. But where is it at now? It was never there. Thank you. That says it all. Bridge MCP says, ask Eric for the $150,000. He knows how to do money. Peggy Lopez is in the house. Welcome aboard, Peggy. Let's see. Bridge MCP, hey, taking my bladder to physical therapy. I have this image of it in a tank top, lifting weights and doing push-ups. Looks like after 4 years, it may be getting better. I'm so proud of you, my dear Peggy Lopez. I'm so proud of you. All right. I have a kind of a funny thing that Biden did to our Republican friends. Not our Republican people, our Republican leaders. You know, I love our Republican friends. I love our conservative friends. I love our liberal, progressive friends. Love everybody. But I can't really stand the politicians that are on the conservative end because they're the largest, biggest hypocrites there are on the planet. And they mislead the people that I love. My great conservatives here in the room, their party completely misleads them, fools them, lie to them. And by the way, we have those of us on the progressive side have our liars. They're called neoliberals. So we have ours as well. It so happened that one side is the entire party, while the Democratic Party is pretty much 2 or 3 factions. The Green Party faction left. But anyhow, let's go ahead and see. Biden had a message, a real good message for our brothers and sisters in the Republican leadership. I want you to listen to that, and then we'll take it on the other side.
I signed into law the Inflation Reduction Act, the biggest investment in climate ever in all of history. It includes tax credits for up to $7,500 for folks to buy new electric vehicles or fuel cell vehicles made in America. And for the first time, you get a tax credit for buying a used electric vehicle. The CHIPS and Science Act that I signed into law is literally supercharging our efforts to make semiconductors, those small computer chips that power our everyday lives, including our vehicles here in America. And the infrastructure law is investing $7.5 billion to build electric vehicle charging stations all across America. So finding a place to charge up your vehicle is going to be as easy as pulling into a gas station. So earlier today, I talked about our efforts to keep gas prices down at the pump without delaying or deferring our transition to clean energy. Electric vehicles are part of that plan. And since I took office, electric vehicle sales have more than tripled. You may have seen the news reports describing Republicans who voted against the infrastructure bill, attacking Democrats for passing it because it's socialism. Well, Now, quietly and privately, they're sending me and the administration letters asking for money from the same bill, talking about how important the projects would be for their districts if we just got them the money. I was really surprised to find out there were so many socialists in the Republican caucus. But even if they voted against it, I made a promise when I was running and when I got elected. I'd be the president for all Americans. So we're going to build a better America together, whether they voted for it or not. If the district deserves the project, they're going to get it.
That is what a president sounds like, right? I mean, I'm not a complete big fan of Biden, but he's doing his job. And, he's doing his job the best a neoliberal knows how to do. But, again, I support the guy. So here's the thing. I love the way he said it, right? I love the way he said it. He goes and he says, I didn't know the Republican Party had so many socialists in it because the program that they didn't vote for because they said it was socialism, now they're writing letters to me telling me, look, this project is essential for my district. It would be great for my district. So bring that socialism to my district. Every single Democrat needs to use all these things they need to just show the hypocrisy that we see on the on the Republican leadership side, because it is shameful. I mean, it's amazing that they do. I was watching an interview, debate between Lee from Utah and Logan, I don't remember his name, the independent that's running against him. And he scolded him. He said, you like to pull out that Constitution all of the times and talk about you believe in the Electoral College when what you try to do is overturn an election. We have text messages of Michael Lee, doing all these things to undermine the election. Then at the interview saying, yes, Biden is the elected president. After he tried to overturn the election. It's the hypocrisy is amazing. And you know what? We can't blame the sycophants and those who fall for the crap from the Republican Party, because again, we have people who just decide they're going to adopt a certain sphere of trust. And those who accept that certain sphere of trust, we got to give them a break. And that's why, again, I follow what we talked about with Anand Hiradas yesterday, and that is we have to go where people are. That's why I was thankful when Eric called in. I heard his voice calling in to KPFT, and I want more people to call in to KPFT. This will be our online show where we talk via messages, but if you want to call into the KPFT show Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at noon, and we can always talk. Right now, we're fundraising, so I'm using about 40% of the time fundraising, 60% of the time talking issues, right? But call in. I want to talk to you guys. I really want to talk to you guys. I'm talking left hand, right hand, everywhere in between or outside of those domains. So that's important. All right, let's see what else we got here. Bridge MCP. No, Duck That Quack says electric went out and $6 billion in Bitcoin vaporized. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, but actually though, if electricity going out on one computer system shouldn't be able to erase Bitcoins, because Bitcoin is actually, these ledgers are found on hundreds of computers, right? So if a computer system goes down, it should still, the problem I have with these electronic monies is if you lose your password, forget it. It's gone. Your money's gone. If you have $100,000 in Bitcoin and you lose your password, bye-bye. You no longer have it. It's amazing. Look, it's a Bitcoin and all these electronic monies. Some people are going to hate me for saying this. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I understand computers. I understand how it works. I understand that if we wanted to make Bitcoin a real money source, we could, but it doesn't have, until it has some sort of an enforcement, you can't really consider it money, safe money. In other words, you'd be foolish to keep your money stored as Bitcoins or any of those different types of Bitcoins. I mean, Bitcoins or whatever other coins that they have, the electronic coins. Bridge MCP says, whatever you do, don't vote for election deniers or nuts. That's true. But I want to put a claim in here. I want all Americans to know one thing, and specifically women. We can't go back. And a vote for Republicans right now is a vote backwards. It's a vote pre-1919. In other words, 1919 women got the right to vote finally, right? But they still needed the signature of their husbands to open a bank account. I mean, if we want to take away your rights to your body, don't you think other features like this will come? They'll make some sort of an excuse, especially since they want to also declare the Christian nation. They'll try to find some Bible verse to say, okay, we got to further clip the wings of women because these folks are just power hungry and want to take advantage of, they just want to take advantage. Do you think that's all that far-fetched? I don't. I honestly don't, and I'm a very pragmatic person. The Duck That Quack says, no election deniers go on X on my ballot. There you go. Eric Hayes says, oh gosh, this guy wouldn't know if an electric vehicle were in front of him. He would probably try to put the gas. I know you know better, so I won't even give that a second thought. I know you know better. Bridge MCP says, screw them. They vote no. Their people suffer. Screw that. There you go. Daniel Lado says, how do you explain otherwise smart people being fooled by the Republicans into supporting their racist, sexist, homophobic agenda? Are these poor dupes just brainwashed? And if they are not brainwashed, surely they're culpable of their evil. The people, look, human nature is a very complex thing. The way the mind works is very complex. Peer pressure, shame. There's a whole lot of things. Thinking you're losing your position in life. There's a lot of things that make people do things that they wouldn't otherwise do. All those people in Nazi land they didn't think they could possibly do things like that, right? And I have a sister who is right-wing Republican, okay? One thing I know, she loves me to death and she'd do anything for me, but somehow they got to her. Right? And now even when we talk, I mean, you can see a lot of times that she's ashamed of Donald Trump. Right? But that's her car. Right? So, I mean, I love her to death, and there's nothing that would go in between. I will make no politician, nothing get between me and my sister. Absolutely nothing. So, I mean, People make decisions crazily. And it's not that they're bad people. It's just that things line up in such a manner that rewire their brains in a certain way. Alistair Waters says, love how subtle his snarky came through. I know. That's why that just came on. And I said, man, I have got to get that for my peeps. And I had to get that for my peeps. So I wanted to get that for you guys right away. Brief MCV says, Danny boy, I agree. Eric Hayes says, keep supporting him too. Your party candidates are not wanting him near him. Well, some of them do, some of them don't. Others want Obama now, but before they wouldn't have wanted Obama. Bridge MCP said, tis true, Eric, they don't want him in front, just behind the scenes. Exactly, you hit it on the money. I know Alistair Waters, he does that well. Bridge MCP says, I missed the show and Eric was on. Ugh. Yeah, Eric was on today. Eric sounded nice as usual. Eric, and he was very circumspect in the way he expressed himself. And I wish he didn't call right at the end of the show because I wanted to have a better one-on-one with Eric, but I was unable to. All right, Daniel Ledo says, Egberto, just to remind you, Biden also said just last week, her mufel dogni with last free democracy. Oh, man, that sounds more like Trump, but okay, if you say so. The Duck That Quack says the GOP is the party of hypocrites and liars. The politicians they are. Yes, true. Eric Hayes says, if electric goes out, have the natural gas well home generator to keep you going. I agree. Of course. We want to be pragmatic, sir. We want to be pragmatic. Bridge MCP says a vote for the GOP now is a bad thing for all. Social Security, Medicare, which they call entitlement, have my arse. Daniel says, don't vote for Stacey Abrams. She is an election denier. No, she's not. She went ahead and said the truth. This guy rigged the election, but it's okay. He won in his rigged election and she accepted the result. She never did the things that Trump and his peons did. The Duck That Quack says, this year I hope to cut my methane use by the same amount the PPU allowed methane companies to raise the heat-in cost, season 23%. That would be great. And that would be a good way to save, right? Buy that much less from them. Eric Hayes says, natural gas generator is fossil fuels and will keep your house going. I agree. I have a gasoline generator, 17.5 kVA gasoline generator. And I am as green as they come. But that's what I have to do right now. I mean, if you have to do certain things, you do, but we need policy to make changes. Alistair Waters says, I'm a Christian and absolutely hate how men felt they could treat women. I agree, Alistair. I agree with you. And that's why I have atoned. And I always treated women very, very well. Always, right? Open doors and all of that. Some now tell me, I don't want you to open a door that's sexist. I just listen to what women want me to do and abide based on having been in a position where they were the ones for too long marginalized. And, so I mean, I try to learn, I try to do my part. And, I ask questions, but I've atoned. All right. Dinosaur juice burns. There you go. That's exactly what petroleum is, right? Bridge MCP says, not true, Eric. I had a tenant and rented a house. The upkeep is a lot. True. Very true. Daniel Ado says, so conservatives are susceptible to the evil machination of others, but progressives are immune. Did I ever say that? Didn't I tell you what happens with that? I said, don't just look at one side. I said neoliberals have issues as well. Didn't I say that just today as well? I did. All right. Stony Baker, Stony Baker MD. Thank you, my dear friend. Why don't we refine our own oil? We do. But supposedly they always try to keep certain refineries offline so that they can find a way to manufacture some sort of a we have some limited supplies. Of course, when you go on the market, it's not limited. It just allows them to make the gasoline overseas, right? All right. OPEC is a criminal enterprise from Stony Baker, MD. I agree. Carl Cox says, if the Republicans take control of the federal and state governments, American democracy is doomed. Hardcore Christians want to turn America into a Christian version of Iran. Estoy completamente en acuerdo contigo. I'm exactly in agreement with you. The Duck That Quack says, we do refine our oil, then we send it overseas to higher bidders. We do that too. We do all kinds of things in a capitalist market. But notice I don't call it free market, in a capitalist market. All right. Biden taking more reserves of oil is plain wrong. No, it's not. It's for an emergency. And I think people in pain is an emergency. The Duck That Quack says the Arabs and Ruskies will just cut production further. Let them do it. And, look, the one thing oil companies don't want is demand destruction. I explained that earlier in my show at KPFT. Demand destruction says the following. And it goes like this. If you keep raising the price of oil, making it scarce and people not being able to find it, what gets to happen is something called demand destruction. Let me give a good example with gasoline. If a ton of people says gasoline is too high and it's going to be too high for too long, they will can their gas guzzlers and they will buy smaller cars with little engines. And given that is a long time investment, if a lot of people buy little cars, we have created demand destruction for gasoline that won't be able to come back online. So the people will be left holding their bags with an oversupply of gasoline, which will force the price down. And again, even if you force the price down, if people are using smaller engines, you will never catch up to the kind of supplies that you had before. Demand destruction. And that's what I say, cut. Eventually, we will reach the point of demand destruction, and then you're hosed. It's that simple. All right, loyalty is awesome. GQP has nobody telling the truth. That's true. All right, let's see what else we got. That Quack says the highest bidder. All right, let me go ahead and play another. Oh, yeah, better play that other video now. This other video is from Katie Porter. Katie Porter, I love Katie Porter. Katie Porter is my hero. She gives the full proof that our inflation should not be at 8.2%. The most it should really be is between 4.1 and 4.2%. Because the rest of the inflation is all corporate profit taken, stolen because they could. Because they have pricing power, they could. And they took it. Check this out. We'll take it on the other side. Often I talk about the dereliction of the duty of the mainstream media. They concentrate on the game. They concentrate on the rat race. They don't concentrate on informing Americans as far as the real things that are causing our angst, the real things that are causing our pains, the real things that are causing inflation, the real things that are causing many of the things that afflict us right now. And, Katie Porter, yesterday in a hearing in Congress, I think it was yesterday, went ahead and did a good research piece. What is the reason that we have 8.2% inflation? Oh, it's high, the highest inflation we've had in over 40 years. And, a lot of times we go out and say, I've been preaching for a long time that there were no real shortages. So there was no real reason for but spot inflation, which means supply chain issue caused by the private sector. Yes, inflate prices because you have a little bit of shortages of those things that are caused by the supply chain problem. We've been talking about that on Politics Done Right for a long time. The media has just been saying inflation, 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 as if inflation is something magical, as if there isn't control of prices by a few entities, which causes inflation. Well, Katie Porter deconstructed it perfectly today. I want you guys to see that Congresswoman deserves a gold star day after day for putting things that most Americans won't understand in an easier to understand manner. Listen to Katie, and then we'll come back.
According to this chart, what is the biggest driver of inflation during the pandemic? The blue is the dark blue is the recent period.
It would be corporate profits.
And what is that percentage?
It is 54%, and that number does stay that level of high if you update that number to more recent numbers as well.
So over half of the increased prices people are paying are coming from increases in corporate profits.
Yes, the unit price index is reflected in corporate profits as opposed to other costs.
And how does that compare to historically to other periods of inflation or over other periods of economic time?
As reflected there and in other analysis, it is significantly higher in this recovery, 11.5%.
And what is it today?
53%.
So I want to make sure everyone in America understands this chart. What is a unit labor cost?
The cost, wages and associated work costs.
So we could just wages. What is a non-labor input cost?
A variety of things, including maintenance and investments.
Okay, so I have to buy the stuff to make the widget. I have to have a factory. I have to keep the lights on. I have to hire someone to make the widget. That's this stuff. And this is what I add on top.
Now, it is very upsetting that based on that chart, the actual inflation based on increased wages, based on increased supply chain issues, should only be about 4%. But instead, we have it twice that. And why is that again? Because for corporate profits, these corporate thugs decided that Americans didn't have enough pain from the supply chain problems they caused. Americans didn't have enough pain for the offshoring that they issued to cause the supply chain problems from having to bring products from overseas, not built here in America, that they did for more profits. Americans have to pay for also the idea that a pandemic can create problems. Americans have to pay for their just-in-time inventory that prevents mitigation of pandemics, hurricanes, and whatever problems you have in a foreign country where our products are manufactured. But we don't have the mainstream media listening to some of the analysis done by Katie Porter, which would change the narrative that, Oh, somehow this is Biden-inflation. This isn't Biden-inflation. This is corporate private sector inflation with them fleecing Americans in an unpatriotic, evil manner. Why can't we just come out and say what the truth is? These people have no heart. These people have no soul. These people don't care that they're killing babies as a mother can't afford the formula raised so that they can put more money into their pockets, money that's really unearned. People, let's get it straight and don't support those who would mislead you. Vote and vote appropriately and vote your interests and vote the people who are going to get things done to prevent the corporate thugs from doing what they just can't help doing given their psychopathy. Given their psychopathy. Hey, anyway, folks, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Should I add a little? No, that's not it. But he says, I have a new generator going to hook up my 350-gallon propane tank, but the propane generators cost a tad more, so gasoline it is. I hear you, girl. I hear you. All right, let's see. Para ver. Mike Cesek says, so with abortion, men can walk away from the woman they get pregnant, refusing to take responsibility while an innocent baby is murdered. Okay, let's be clear here. Yeah, a lot of men walk away from their women they impregnate, but most, stay and most do the right thing to make it a shared experience. But no man should tell a woman what she can do with her body. I mean, I will grant you this. If we ever said, what we should do is, maybe, and this is going to sound graphic, but I'm going to say it anyway. If somebody gets pregnant, right? Well, let me put it this way. Actually, I don't want to say it that way. That's a bit too graphic. If a woman is forced to have a kid because a man wants the kid that he impregnated with her or whatever, he should be forced then to have to pay some sort of bodily penalty as well. And you know why that will never happen? Because men will never give up agency to their own bodies. I repeat, men will never give up agency to their own bodies. Yet they expect they expect women to acquiesce to what men want. We want to stop a woman from being able to control her entire being. I'm sorry. And when you say baby murdered, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Look, I'm not a proponent of abortion, but I'll be damned if I'll tell a woman what to do with her body. It's hers. She's the one who has to live it. We can't tell her what to do with it. I'm sorry. Anything else is slavery, period. You don't have agency of your own body, you're a slave. And women out there, again, if they can stop you from having, and I played a piece where my good friend Rodriguez came on. Jaime Rodriguez, a political consultant, pointed out how conservatives should really be having the same pro-choice position that we have, because the actual against choice position, the anti-choice position, opens itself up for many others to control not only your body but much more. I mean, you got to listen to that sometime again. Just because you don't have $6.50 a gallon gas for diesel doesn't mean a guy in Europe won't pay $12. Exactamente. Alistair Waters said, Stony Baker MD says, nobody's perfect. Alistair Waters says, what's refined here is sold to the highest bidder, but the U.S. put some towards the private reserve. Yep. Okay. The lumber. Let's see what else we got here. Daniel Ado says, let me rephrase that, simple minds. What makes you, Egberto, immune to the evil mind's control of others? Education. willingness to change one's opinion, able to factually accept data and interpret it. That's what. The Duck That Quack says the strategic reserve is supposed to be aside for times of national emergency. I agree. And I would say people manipulation. When look, a capitalist attack on the American people with pricing, to me, is an emergency. A capitalist attack on Americans it's an emergency. You either stop the capitalists from attacking American citizens, or you put in the antidote, which is more gas on the market, to stop it. My opinion, just my opinion. All right, let's see what else we got. Lee Grant says, with abortion, man gets to say, your body, your choice, your problem. Okay, I don't disagree with. I mean, I completely disagree with that, my brother. I completely disagree with that. Again, we're talking about a woman having agency in her own body. After that baby is born, it will have your DNA. You got to do what's right. Let's see what else we got here. The Duck That Quack says, what is the nature of the emergency? The nature of the emergency is the dying, Americans dying. If we are not going to be able to heat our homes, if we're going to have to forego Similac or other baby milk or whatever, that's an emergency for that family. Caused by the oil companies, that more oil would solve, then release the oil. All right, let's see. Daniel says, you don't know me. We are not friends. Show some. I don't know what you're saying, Daniel. I laugh at those dip, you know what, with gas guzzlers. LOL, pay up. Okay, all right. Okay, let's see what else we get. Oh, man, you guys are writing. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do our... Marco Rubio got a good little piece. I want you to listen to this because I found it quite amusing. Check this out. Val Demings and Marco Rubio interview last night. It was pretty darn rough for Marco. Yes, it may seem like sometimes he came out charging, but every time she retorted and came back, you could see the defeat within his soul as she spoke. Now, does that mean she's going to win? Look, if sensible people are watching the debate, if sensible people remember that little Marco and all of that, how Donald Trump belittled him and how he then became a suck up onto Donald Trump, they would see that this guy is a spineless person that is not out there to do what's best for Floridians. Well, I want you to see this, and then we'll go ahead and take it on the other side.
She's never passed a single bill. She's been in Congress for over half a decade. She's never passed a bill, not PPP, not anything. Not a single bill she's passed has ever become law. I'm proud of the fact we saved millions of jobs. I'm proud of the fact we did it in a bipartisan way.
That's not true. I know the senator, look, and I'm really disappointed in you, Marco Rubio, because I think there was a time when you did not lie in order to win. I don't know what happened to you. You know that is not true.
Tell me, did you see his face? Did you see the defeat when she finally showed how you deal with liars? You can do it calmly. You don't have to go get excited about it. You just tell them, what happened? When did you become such a liar? Why is it that we cannot trust the words out of your mouth? Americans can look up everything that you say and find out that it's a lie. I know. You are hoping that most of your constituents are dumb. You're hoping. But Marco Rubio, what happens if this one time they decide to fact check Val Demings and really find out that you are in fact just a liar as your protege, El Señor Trump? Absolutamente so. Folks, you know what time it is? It is time. I'm a bit late, but it's time for me to do my ask. So here we go with my ask. Politics done right depends on you to keep doing what we do. What do? We make sure to keep, number one, the internet seeded with blogs and information to counter the right and to present what progressives represent for the benefit of us all to everybody so that it's not misread, misled by any other entity. We make sure and populate that internet with blogs, with videos, with all these other things to make sure that we are informed and to counter everything that you normally hear that are lying at the right. We also make sure to create articles in magazines, articles in newspapers all around the country to ensure, again, that our message gets out there. Last but not least, we also write books. As you see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom, How to Make America Utopia, are two of the many books that I've written on these issues. So please support us in one of many ways. Numero uno, you can support us at PayPal, either one time or monthly. Go to politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. You can support us on Patreon. That is politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. Patreon is spelled Patreon. You can support us by becoming a part of our YouTube channel, going to politicsdoneright.com/YouTube, or you can support us in many other forms that you can find at politicsdoneright.com/support. Be sure to visit our store, politicsdoneright.com/store, and get our books at politicsdoneright.com/books. Hey folks, don't forget, get the hoodie. It's that time of the year where it's cool. You can get the hoodie now, the Politics Done Right hoodie, which says, I support independent media, and we have some others as well. Check it out. It's really cool, and it's really warm. This is what I used. Today was a cool day here in Houston. I went to KPFT. I put on my good old hoodie. Hey now, I love it. Anyhow, let's get back to business. Don't forget, folks. Don't forget. Please subscribe to my podcast. The podcast has all the videos, all the clips, all in one place. It's at anchor.fm/Egberto Willies/subscribe. And you know how to spell Egberto Willies. So please go ahead and do that for me. Bridge MCP says, cool day at Egberto Willies. It was 22 degrees when I got out. Yikes. That'll kill me. Lee Grant says, Dems libs getting desperate over their impending midterm disaster. Expect harsh language, extreme gaslighting, fear mongering. We are going to win. I know you want us to be scared. We are going to win, Brother Grant, and I will still love you after we win. But if we don't win, Grant, you're still our brother. All right, family in Michigan got snow. Ike, that is from Alistair Waters. Duck That Quack says, by sheer number, women control the elections and women control their bodies. Unless a guy wants jail time, and in conclusion, women control civil men. True. So women, don't allow them to use the law to take away your power. All right, let's see. Hetero power. I love women. I just hung my proud heterosexual flag up last week. That is from the Duck That Quacks. Lee Grant says, if you want the government, if you want government, what some might call excessive profits from corporations, will the government subsidize these corporations during lean times? They do that. I love that you say that, right? I love that you say that, Grant, because that's what they do. In lean times, the government has always subsidized these big, large corporations. The people that always pay the price are little corporations. But when GM got into trouble, they got a loan. When Chrysler got into trouble, they got a loan. The United States government always make bankers and investment bankers and big corporations whole all the time. So yes, we are already subsidizing them now. And actually, even when they're profitable, we're subsidizing them. We educate the engineers that go to them. We build the roads that they use. We clean the air that they breathe. We clean the water that they drink. So, sir, we are already subsidizing corporation. Daniel Ledo says, Egberto is advocating for prostitution. No man should tell a woman what she can do with her body, so she should be able to sell it if she wants to. Yes, she should. Do you think did it ever occur to you that I was against, or I was somehow going to come out against prostitution among consenting with a woman who consents to it? You bet your life I support that. I mean, I don't want my daughter, my wife, my sister, or anybody to be that. But if any one of them chose to do that, who am I to tell that woman what to do with her body? Who am I? You may have a religious conviction. Try to convince her that your religiosity should be interpreted. Mike Cisak says a child inside the woman is not her body. It's a separate person. No, it's okay. It's I don't want to be unkind here, but anything living in a woman's body that's going to separate it's a parasite. And if she doesn't want a parasite, and that sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. I understand. But remember, this right now, I'm not talking morals. I'm talking, I do not have agency over any woman's body, nor should you. Okay? Nor should you. If you want agency over the deposit that you left that created some blastocysts in a woman, then make sure that you and the woman are on the same page before you go ahead and have sex with that woman. If you want to control a woman's womb, make sure that she's willing to cede her womb to you before you attempt anything with her. Seems we have some human biology deniers. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Again, it's none of your business what goes on in a woman's womb, period. Maywood says, just make abortions radioactive. All right, let's see what else we got here. Egberto Willis, I think you misunderstood Lee's comment because you didn't see the other comments. Okay, what did I misunderstand? Correct me then. Please correct me, because going and search is going to take too much time with the little amount of time that we got left. I want to play, well, let me think. I don't have enough time for Michael Steele. I'll play Michael Steele tomorrow because I really don't have enough time. Bridge MCP, let's see. Alistair says, are you willing to step up and pay me child support for my two? My children's father isn't, and the state isn't forcing him to. So it's on me 100%. You see that they always look. Those people that are anti-choice, they always want to tell a woman what to do, but when it's time to support the woman, they're never there. By the way, Stony Baker MD says he's now a member of our posse. Thank you so kindly, Stony Baker MD. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. Stony Baker also the beauty of the beast. Mike Cisak says, Egberto, are you saying the corporations have control over prices rather than the market? There ain't no market. Oh my God. Let's look. There is supply and demand, pure supply and demand that can work. But this fallacy that we have a market that somehow independently works and put things together is a figment of your imagination. I explained a lot of this in, as I see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. When you have all kinds of collusion, government control, the kind of taxation that benefits other corporate, I mean, there is no market. We create a fallacy that there is a market. There's just a controlled economy. And those with power control it. Just like we said, inflation should be 4.2% if you count just things like wage increases, supply chain issues, all created by the private sector anyway. But if you count that, inflation will be 4.2%. But these guys put a premium on it. We want more profit. They have pricing power on goods that we must buy. And since we must buy it, they have pricing power. We will pay whatever cost it is as long as we have the money in wages, borrowing, or savings. It's a racket. There ain't no market. We need to grow up and understand that when we talk about free markets, as capitalists talk about it, it's a lie. It is just a way to keep you under control. All right, let's see what else we got here. Para ver. Rubio will likely win by over 12 points. We'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Lee Grant says, Dems live getting desperate over their No, that we're not desperate at all. Cool day, Egberto. Yes, 22 degrees. Mike says, Egberto, should you buy you a bottle of wine to drink away the bad night on election night? No, I tell you what, on election night, I'll probably come on air, right? And if we lose, I'll be right here for you guys to just beat me up. And I'll just tell you, congratulations, I have a lot more work to do. By now, y'all should get me, Mike Cisak. You know I'm not going to hold animosity that you got your way. I'm going to just try to make sure you don't. Alistair Waters says that'll speed up the color change. What will? I'm not sure. The leaves. Tom C says, Lee Grant, yes, expect harsh language, extreme gaslighting, fear-mongering from the GOP whether they win or lose. Exactly right. Peggy Lopez says, not cool enough here for hoodies and cool enough for my strawberries to start back. Probably have berries here till... Oh, wait, I didn't send you my address. Peggy Lopez, I am going to send you that after the show. I better remember. Whoa, Egberto calling innocent babies a parasite. That was terrible of me. Actually, you know what, Mike Cisak? That was so terrible in the way I interpreted that, right? I am honestly serious. I wanted to use parasite in the generic manner. In other words, something that depends on something else, right? And as a blastoma, that is, okay? But I take that, let me see how to put this. I take that critique. I apologize for that. I do take that critique. I really do. I honestly really do. I really shouldn't have used that. I heard somebody else mention that one time, and I'm like, yeah, you know, yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Egberto, when a woman lays down with a man and agrees to have intercourse, then yes, she agreed to the chance of getting pregnant. I disagree on that. A lot of times, I disagree on that. Troy Astro says, free market is a big lie. Don't believe anymore. I'm glad, Troy Astro, you get it. Welcome aboard, Troy. Egberto Willis, this was Lee's reply. Mike Cisak, so with abortion, men can just walk away from the woman, get pregnant, refusing to take responsibility, while an innocent baby murder. Lee Grant, with abortion, man get to stay. Your body, your choice, your problem. I get it, but I disagree with that characterization. Alistair Waters says, Mike Cisak, oh, wow, it's 4 o'clock. There's a huge shift of independent women going from supporting Dems by 18% to GOP by 18 points, says New York Times. I saw that, and Daily Kos covered that today, which seems like it wasn't really, there's something wrong with the poll. When there's a limited market competition, corporate profiteering naturally is a primary cause of inflation. True. Daniel, when you get pregnant, let me know, dude. All right, I got to get out of here. Egberto, your words weren't meant to degrade. They were just facts. And Bridge MCP, I agree with Parasite. You get what I'm saying. I don't want to be offensive in that it's a pre-stages of a human being. And I get how that can be offensive to some people. And there I'm willing to watch my words on that particular one. Anyway, we got to get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Those of you who haven't yet supported the program, please do. I'm going to put 2 links in there again. My PayPal link, which is politicsdoneright.com/PayPal, and the link to support us on the new, my new, what is it called again? My new subscribe podcast, which has everything, including videos. You can watch it all on Spotify. The whole channel is now available on Spotify with video and everything if you subscribe. And I put that underneath. Please, why don't 20 of you subscribe? Anyhow, we're at the end of the show. Let's see. Whoa, how did you know? I haven't told anyone, but I am. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.